Well, first of all, congratulations on Royal Destroyer.
Thank you very much.
It's only been out for a little while now, and already people seem very, very happy with it. I mean, it's entered the top 20 in Germany, it's hit the charts in Switzerland and Austria, and even America and Canada as well, which is very impressive.
Yeah.
When you were recording this album, did you have the feeling it was going to be something very special? Because fans seem to love it as well.
But to be honest, we felt a bit of pressure after the whole Cobra Speed Venom thing, because it became a really good album. We were so satisfied with it, and the feedback for that was unbelievable. It was really good, and that was also the first time we actually ended up on like official German charts, but it was like on the 36th position, and now we're, doing even better with breaking top 20. And we felt a bit pressure. And I remember in the studio when we were working, or actually a couple of months before we entered the studio, like I can be a bit anxious sometimes, I started to wonder, is it good enough? Is it good enough? I really want to, do our best performance there. But I remember while mixing, it felt a much more sort of safer, like, fuck, this is gonna be a good one. So I kind of know myself pretty good. I know it goes always up and down. Sometimes I end up in a period where I just doubt everything, and then it comes back, and after a month it's like, it is good, we're not that bad. It's a process.
No, honestly, I mean, I haven't heard the full album. What I have heard has been really, really good. It's just fucking great Swedish death metal, which is all anyone really wants out of you, really. I mean, obviously, there's a little bit more to it than that. It's not a primitive album by any means. But can you tell me a little bit about the title behind this?
It came to us a bit later in the process. There was a couple of candidates from the song titles. I remember I was one of those. I wanted to call the album Ultra Faust, just because it's a very different kind of name, And I'm a bit of an 80s and 90s freak, so I love the word ultra. That's a pretty
ultra,
doesn't get more
turbo,
exactly. So when you sort of combine that, my vote went for Ultra Faust, but then Magnus came up with Royal Destroyer, and I think the Royal thing obviously comes from our band name, and I know a lot of fans started to call us like Royal 5, and so it's a cool thing to sort of use, and to combine it with the Destroyer thing. I mean, for us Swedes, that's basically just a very fucking cool word. So Royal Destroyer, it sounds good. And it can easily be linked to us, and what we have always been about and stuff like that. So sometimes we name an album after a song, but this time we don't have a song called Royal Destroyer, so we just try to sum it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really cool title as well. I mean, not that Ultra Fast wouldn't have been a cool title as well, but I mean, we need to get this album out to more British metalheads, because we're all so sick of the royal family right now. It's like, this is the soundtrack right now.
The Royal Destroyer. That's a good one.
With recording itself, did it go relatively smoothly, or was it affected in any way by the pandemic and such?
It was actually affected because we had to postpone the whole recordings. We were supposed to go in already in May last year, and I guess that was around February, March, April. I mean, that's when things got really bad in the world, so we couldn't rehearse, and the whole studio thing, we just said we need to postpone it. So we didn't enter the studio until September, October. But that was a good thing now, because that actually gave us a little bit of extra time to work on a couple of the songs, and we actually removed 2 songs, added 2 new ones, got a little perspective on things. So that was actually a good thing. And a lot of the sort of last minute changes we did, it just ended up with a stronger album. So it was a good thing. But while we were in the studio doing our thing, it was business as usual. We since a few years back, we don't spend too much time in the studio. We try to try to capture a bit of a rough punky edge to the whole thing, not over analyzing stuff in the studio. So we went in, recorded everything in 7 days. And there was actually 12 songs. 2 of those songs ended up on bonus stuff, but and then of course we spent a good amount of time for mixing, but the actual recordings went really, really smooth. We were well prepared and we knew what we wanted, and we basically in a way continued with the same sort of mindset that we had with Cobra Speed Venom, that let's go in, capture performances, no fucking edit in the computer stuff, try to capture something that is a band. So that was all about, 1-2 takes per song, and that's it. And, learn to live with it, So,
but it's obviously worked.
It works.
People are loving it and it's doing well. And again, people really liked Cobra Speed Venom as well. So it's a great trail that you guys are blazing, basically.
Yeah, it is. And in some ways, we almost look at Royal Destroyer even as a sequel to, in a way, to Cobra Speed Venom, because there's many things that were similar. As I said, our mindset, how we record and how we, make songs. And so I guess we need to do a trilogy now. So wait a couple of years.
Something else I really like about the album as well is the artwork. And I think The Crown has always had really good artwork. I love the Cobra Speed Venom art. That was awesome. This one I think is even better. I can't remember the guy's name now, but I know he's worked on Amon Amarth and Testament and
Christian Sloan Hall,
I think was one of them. So, sorry?
His name is Christian Sloan Hall. Yeah.
That's it. I knew it was something Hall, but
yeah.
How did you get in contact with him?
I guess the first time we ever even had a discussion was like way back, all the way back to like Death Race King. I mean, we're talking 20 years ago. And that was someone that we immediately felt that he has a fucking cool style. I mean, things go in sort of in trends and in phases, what kind of sort of artwork you like. I mean, just a few years ago, it was pretty okay to have like computerized graphics, but we were a bit fed up with that. And like with the whole Cobra Speed Venom, the super detailed and, the fucking cool colors and stuff like that. And I like his style. I mean, he actually paints by hand and then he adds colors to it in the computer. So it's like it works in both worlds. So we knew we wanted to work with Christian again for this one, and we discussed a bit back and forth what to do. I mean, and I know the only thing that we sort of agreed on is like we need something fucking epic, but that's a pretty wide range of what is epic, And I remember we started talking about this warrior on a horse. It's like, well, haven't we seen that 100 times before? It's like nothing super original, but with Christian's style and all the stuff he did, I think it turned out fucking cool. And we decided very early on that the whole format for the artwork, it's going to be made for like a gatefold vinyl thing. So when you unfold it, it just continues, and a bit of old school way of thinking there, but that's pretty nice, So
it kind of goes back to what you were saying again about like the 80s influence in a way. You think of how many great artwork there were in the 80s, and it's great as well because there's a big difference between taking influence from something and just doing the same thing. And
exactly.
That's what makes the Crown very special, I think. It's not just like a throwback band, or not that it ever was to begin with, but it's
that's cool to hear, because sometimes it worries me that people think that we sort of try to, I don't know, be one of this old school death metal band or something like that. But the thing is that, I mean, that the stuff that we sort of fell in love with death metal in the late 80s and 90s, that's still with us, and it's not a difficult thing. It's not like we need to force things to make it like that. That's our taste, So and there's nothing wrong with that. And especially today, I mean, like you said, with artwork and stuff, I mean, some bands, it depends. It's maybe also like a generational thing, because I mean, I know younger bands, they don't maybe care that much because they know that in 90% of the cases it will end up like a very small Spotify icon anyway, you know.
Yeah.
So, but for us, that we still do vinyl and CDs, and you know, we value that thing. I think it's a cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I still buy CDs. For me, that's always one of the most exciting parts of a new album. You know?
Yeah.
And not to disparage anyone, but there's sometimes when you go, oh, new album's announced, and you look at it and you kind of go, oh. But with The Crown and like Dark Tranquillity's latest one and a few others as well, it's exciting. You know, it's vibrant. It's a good representation, I think, of what the music will be like. You get it, and you know it's going to be heavy, but it's going to be fun. So.
Yeah, it is, because I still always come back to those, like, once again, late 80s, early 90s. I mean, when I got, I don't know, Morbid Angel's Best of the Sick or something like that. You know, you fucking read the vinyl and you read the thanks list, and you sort of try to get into all this. And especially there was this, you know, Dan Seagrave did a lot of the old artwork and stuff like that, very detailed stuff, and that was always super. I loved to put on the album and just fucking stare at the cover and smell the vinyl.
Was another way that you've promoted the album. You've done 2 music videos so far. We Drift On and Motor Death. Motor Death, by the way, is probably the coolest song title I've heard for a little while.
Cool. That's cool. That was actually the working title for the song, but it sort of, we got stuck with it, so it worked.
I kind of had a feeling it was, but it's nonetheless, it's like, that's fucking cool. What was the process like for these videos? Did you have any trouble filming them, or anything like that?
We got a bit lucky. There's this. We shot them both during the same time at the same location. It's like a couple of 100-year-old building. It's very close from where I live, like a 5-minute walk only. And I think the community has sort of bought it or something, and they're sort of preserving it because it's a bit older. And I think they have like conferences and stuff like that. It's very, very sort of fancy, old school, you know, with chandeliers and oak wood, and it's very nice, you know. So we decided that it's going to be pretty cool. I mean, we go in, do a song like Motor Death. I mean, us being death metal punks, we go into this fine room, and it looks, you know, it's a good contrast, you know. It looks, and also, we did Motor Death performance parts there, and then we basically switched clothes and did We Drift On, and later on added some sequences to it, so it's not only performance, you know.
No.
It's cool. It's made by the same guy, obviously, and 2 a bit different styles, and Motor Death got a lot of good feedback, and that's why I sort of pushed a bit extra that we should try to surprise people with the next video, you know, the We Drift On thing, because people always expect us to play super fast and, you know, stuff like that. So it was cool to, you know, to try to do something different, and it's always nice to, if it's possible, to surprise people, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and not just nice to surprise people. It also demonstrates the variety of the album as well. So I think when you can display different kind of colors of the album, if you like, then that draws people in all the more. They want to hear the rest of the album because they know it's not all going to be one song over and over.
I think it's important because I mean, I've heard from sort of new people that sort of discovered us now, and they were so surprised about the We Drift On. But the thing is that we have always been in those areas as well. There are the slow stuff, the mellow stuff, melodic stuff. I mean, it's always been there, but it's the thing is that our videos has always been the brutal stuff. So so I don't think it's a surprise to people if they have heard a few albums with us, you know. So but it's as you said, it's nice to show another palette of colors as well. So
absolutely. This is the second album released through Metal Blade, I think. I think the last one for a different album was through Century Media.
Yeah.
How's the relationship with Metal Blade been so far?
It is good. It felt a bit to come back home, you know, because there's still a lot of people working there that we worked for ages ago, you know, and a lot of people we trust, and especially European office. We go way back, you know, and there's a lot of people now in the US also working, and they have offices in the UK, Japan. I mean, it's pretty big sort of company. And it's good when you get that little extra feel that they sort of support. I think they were a bit testing the waters with Cobra Speed Venom, you know, because there were two maybe not our best albums we released on Century Media. And so when we came back with Cobra Speed Venom, they were sort of like, okay, let's see what people say. But now so I definitely feel that they're pushing, giving us a better push now. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, like a few other people, like Cobra Speed Venom was when I first started to hear about the Crown. So I think that demonstrates that Metal Blade are doing a good job of really pushing you out there, and there's people discovering you for the first time and this kind of thing. And I imagine it kind of sucks as a musician to have people go, "Oh, I've only just discovered you," and you go, "Well, I've been around for 30 years or so." But at the same time, from a fan's perspective, it's great because you've got all this to go and it's like discovering Iron Maiden for the first time. You know, I got all this as well.
But it's also so cool because I like to follow on, you know, social medias when sort of people discuss us, and it's always so cool because we have some super dedicated fans from all over the world. Some people been following us in day one, and it was always cool when someone says, "Oh, this is the first time I heard World Destroyer," and they sort of freak out, and they say, "Okay, you need to listen to this album, this album, this album." And, you know, there's a lot of pretty good albums we've done, so that's amazing. We're on album number 10, so there's a lot of catching up to do.
And there's something else that's cool as well about having that longevity and that much. Having so many albums that are praised so much, it's a bit like Celtic Frost or a band like that. You know, everyone's going to have a different answer of what the essential Crown album is.
It's especially when you do albums like we did Crown in Terror, there was other singer there. I mean, that divides people, of course. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, I'm a fanboy myself. That's how I look at like Morbid Angel and, you know, bands, you know, when they have different sort of eras, you know. So I'm not surprised at all. So
how difficult has it been to promote this album given the current climate? And, you know, obviously we can't really go out on tour or anything like that. There's like a light at the end of the tunnel, but
we're not quite there yet. But of course it's very frustrating because the album is getting amazing feedback and stuff like that, and of course we want to go out and show people that you know, we can also do this live. You know, it's not a studio album. I guess the only comfort is in that it's not only like one country is suffering. We're all suffering globally with this and trying to find out new ways. And, you know, you don't need to over-explain to people why you're not touring. You know, they understand. So, but it also, I mean, it forces bands and us to sort of start to think a bit creative ideas. I mean, what should we do? Should we try with the streaming concerts or whatever? I mean, there's a lot of ways to reach out anyway. But that is something we have discussed, that we need to do something. I mean, for fuck's sake, we're just releasing a new album and we can't stay at home, you know? I mean, obviously stuff like this is good. I mean, I know we did Cobra Speed Venom in 2018, and only like 3 years later, probably 80% of the like interviews and stuff, it's Zoom or Skype, and you know, there's a lot of things evolving very, very quickly to reach out to people. And but we're gonna figure out what we're gonna do. We have a bit of budget that we could do some sort of streaming thing. The only thing is that we're discussing a bit back and forth because I really don't like the way the bands fake a live show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when I see those bands, they are on stage, and I know there's no people there, and I mean they're really trying hard to fake it till they make it. But yeah. I would like to do it maybe in a bit different format. Maybe not try to copy a live thing, but maybe more like a performance things. I don't know. Yeah. We need to figure it out. So that would be cool.
Absolutely, it's interesting. It's definitely. As listeners, we appreciate that as well when bands go, we'll do something a bit different. We have to think this, that, and the other, because as cool as it is to see streaming gigs and, just have that opportunity to hear these songs performed live, it's so much better if you offer something fresh.
Yeah, I think so too, because I got this idea. I don't know if you saw that when Metallica did a live stream. They had this lot of TV screens.
Right.
I just got this idea just the other day. Like, can't we fucking have a 300-inch screen, invite 1,000 people on Zoom, so we can actually play towards faces,
Yeah.
So that should be doable, actually. A couple of hundred people on a Zoom meeting, and let's record it, and then later on, fucking mix it professionally as well. But it would be fun to play to faces, So
yeah, man.
I'm gonna look into that one. Don't steal my idea.
No. 30-inch screen, Zoom. Well, Marko, thank you very much for taking time to speak to me today, mate. I really do appreciate it. And congratulations again on the album. I hope it gets even bigger and a better response still, because you definitely deserve it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem. Tack så mycket.
Okay. It was a nice talk, man.
Absolutely.
All right. You enjoy your evening.
You too, bud. Bye now.